Now let's just move on further to the question number 2, which says that show that tan 48 degree, tan 23 degree, tan 42, tan 67 is actually nothing but is equal to 1. So first of all, we'll look for those angles that are forming an angle or the sum of the angles as 90 degree. So as you can see, we have the very first angle as nothing but 48 degree. So the very first angle is 48 degree, and we know that if we'll add 48 angle with 42 angle, 48 with 42, their sum would be nothing but is equal to 90 degree. So it means we can pair them up so that we can apply the complementary angle concept on them. So let us suppose if I'm just taking both of them together, I'm just writing both of them together. So we can write them as nothing but tan of 48 degree into tan of 42 degree. So I'm clubbing them up, and the other two trigonometric ratios that are left with us is nothing but tan 23 and tan 67. Again, if I'm just looking at their angles only, so 23 plus 67 is 90. So again, I am going to club them up. Tan 23 degree, tan 67 degree. We just have to show that LHS is nothing but is equal to the RHS. So let us suppose if I'm just taking it as LHS and I'm just solving LHS first. So let us suppose if I'll write it over here that I'm taking LHS only. So let's just solve them up. First of all, we know that the sum of their angles is nothing but 90. The sum of their angles is nothing but 90. So we can convert one tan into cot formation. Means let us suppose if I'm just taking this particular tan 48 degree. So we know about a concept that tan of A is actually nothing but is equal to cot of 90 degree minus of A. We definitely know about this concept, and using this concept, now I am just going to convert one tan in a particular bracket into the formation of cot. What does it mean? Let us suppose if I'm just starting with the very first bracket using this particular concept, I am just converting this tan of 48 degree into cot. How? Let us suppose if this is my A, so we can write this as nothing but cot of 90 degree minus of, we can write this as nothing but 48 degree into tan of 42 degree. I'm just taking the second tan as it is only. Now let's just talk about the second bracket. In the second bracket, I'm just using the same concept again, in which I am converting the very first tan into the formation of cot. So let us suppose if I'm applying this particular formation into this as well. So here I'm using A as 23, so we can write this as nothing but cot of 90 minus of 23 degree. Further, tan 67 would remain same as it is. It would remain same as it is. Now let's just solve this particular bracket. So let us suppose if I'm just moving on further over here. So as you can see, we have this cot of 90 minus 48. So we can write this 90 minus 48 as nothing but cot of 42 degree. Definitely we can write this in this particular formation, because tan of a 48 degree is nothing but is equal to cot of 90 minus 48, and 90 minus 48 is 42. So this is cot of 42, this is tan of 42. This is my very first bracket, and in the second bracket we get the answer as nothing but cot of 67 after the subtraction of these two angles, and tan of 67 and tan of 67. So actually we are getting these two brackets in such a formation that we know tangent is nothing but a reciprocal of cotangent, or cotangent is nothing but the reciprocal of tangent. What does it mean? It means that I can convert this cotangent into tangent as 1 by tan of 42 into tan of 42. I'm just taking tan 42 remain as it is, and similarly I'm just converting this cotangent 67 as 1 by tan of 67 into tan of 67. Since we know about the concept, let us suppose if I'm just writing the reason why I am writing this, because we know that cot of A is actually nothing but is equal to tan of A. So we can write them in such a manner. Now you can see over here all by yourself that all the values over here are getting cancelled with each other. Tan 42, tan 42, tan 67, tan 67, and at the end we are getting the answer as nothing but is equal to 1, which is our right hand side, which implies that LHS is nothing but is equal to the RHS. Means we doesn't have to show that whether LHS is equal to RHS, we just have to show that the values actually is equal to 1. So this is the answer. At the end we are getting the answer as nothing but is equal to 1. So using the same steps you can further do the questions which are similar to this particular question. So always remember, if we have the question in such a formation, you just have to pair up those particular angles that are forming complementary angle with each other, and using this particular conversion you can sort them out. Now let's just move on further and talk about the other question. So the next question, question number 3, is nothing but if secant 4a is nothing but is equal to cosecant of a minus 20 degree, where 4a is an acute angle, find the value of a. So we just have to find the value of a. So let's just start the solution set for this particular question. First of all, you can see we have secant 4a which is equal to cosecant a minus 20 degree. So let us suppose if I'm starting with the given condition that secant 4a is actually given as cosecant of a minus of 20 degree. Now we know about a particular fact that if the angles are complementary, then cosecant can be converted into secant and secant can be converted into cosecant. So using that particular fact, I can convert either cosecant into secant or either secant into cosecant, but I am converting secant into cosecant. So let us suppose if I am just using a concept that if the angles are complementary, then the secant of a can be written as cosec of 90 degree minus of a. So I am just using this particular concept in this particular formation. So as you can see, the angle actually over here is nothing but 4a. You can see all by yourself that the angle is nothing but 4a. So using this particular formation, we can write secant 4a as nothing but cosecant of 90 minus 4 of a, because over here we have a as nothing but 4 of a. So this a would be 4 of a definitely, and this would be nothing but is equal to cosecant of a minus 20 degree. Now from this particular equation we can compare the angles. So let us suppose I'm just comparing, let's just comparing the angles. So if I'll just compare the angles of cosecant on both the sides, so we can get the answer as nothing but 90 minus of 4a. 90 minus of 4a is actually nothing but is equal to a minus 20 degree, and now this is nothing but just a linear equation. You can sort it out for the value of a. Let's just take all the a's in one side, all the constants in one side. So this would be 90 plus 20 which is equal to a plus 4a, and further we can write it as 110 which is nothing but is equal to 5 of a. Further the value of a is nothing but 110 divided by 5. This would be 5 into 2 is 10, and this would be nothing but 5 into 2 is 10. So at the end we are getting the value of a as nothing but is equal to 22 degree, and this is nothing but the answer or the value of a which is nothing but is equal to 22. So hence this is nothing but the answer for this particular question.